Hello, everyone, and good morning, good evening, even good night. Globally welcome here to this today's HeyGen webinar. And yeah, I'm not alone actually. I have Melissa with me, and she's taking care at HeyGen for our relationship. So, Melissa, just thank you for joining us today. And because I know actually what we are showing today, I'm very exciting. I'm very proud you did this here and you're joining us today. So maybe you can just introduce yourself for a sec that everyone understand what are you doing here at HeyGen.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Melissa, and I work with HeyGen customers to help them get the most value out of HeyGen. So there are a lot of different ways you can use HeyGen, and today we're going to be talking about two of the main use cases and two of the main products that we offer. So I'm excited to dive into that a little bit further, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, HeyGen 101 for business plus use cases. You are prepared like a presentation for us and you can get us through this. So first, I really want to welcome everyone again and I want to understand where is everyone from? Because I already can see, Melissa, it's unbelievable. Italy, Japan, India, Atlanta, Nashville, San Diego, like Germany, Switzerland, Montreal, Canada, actually. So this is just awesome. I see this every week here on our Thursdays webinars, and it is so cool. Even someone is shiny from China as well, Cote d'Ivoire. It's so cool here, Texas. I love it. So yeah, maybe even some of you could let us know actually what kind of business you're working for, which industry. If you have specific questions today, just ask. I will always try to interrupt Melissa in her workflow just to ask like relevant questions here. So I would say before we start for your presentation today, Melissa, everyone who's joining today, I don't know even if you know this, Melissa, but I think because you watched some of our webinars for sure as well, is like everyone is getting 5 free credits to get started with HeyGen. And I think this is such a good way to start with HeyGen. Just get 5 free credits, make yourself comfortable, have a better understanding how the user experience actually is. And one thing I really want to make sure before we start is we need feedback all the time in any kind of product, feature, what we are doing, what we are offering. It doesn't have to be like just on a product side, it could be also on the like website presentation or like the workflow, the onboarding. Just let us know if you have any things we should have a look through and improve our like workflow and product itself. So yeah, I can't wait. So Melissa, please go ahead and dive us through what HeyGen 101 for business plus use cases means. And because you really have a great sense of the clients, because you will be one of the first touching points when someone is reaching out to us, but also like after the sales process to help them and just to get a better relationship with our clients, to hear them out. And even for you, feedback is a great topic, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love customer feedback. Like you said, keep it coming. We're always looking to improve and look for more ways that we can help provide value to our users and our customers. And I'm super excited to dive in today.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Let me find the screen share button again. Here we go. Awesome. Are you able to see my screen?
100%.
Perfect. Well, diving in today, excited to dive into a couple of topics. I probably at this point, many of you are somewhat familiar with what HeyGen is, but we'll make sure to start there just so everyone's on the same page. And then we will dive deeper into two of our most popular, most valuable products, avatar video and video translation. And we will talk specifically about some common use cases for these products, as well as some customers that are successfully using these products to accelerate their businesses.
Yeah, because also the funny part is that a lot of like people out there just think, yeah, HeyGen is just doing avatars. Like, but actually this is not true. And I think you will show us some of these features in case of video translation as well. So yeah, let's dive in.
Let's do it. So taking a little bit of a step back, at HeyGen, our mission is to make visual storytelling accessible to all. And when I think about that, I like to break it down into two pieces, the first being visual storytelling and the second being accessible to all. So with visual storytelling, we're very passionate that video is one of the most impactful ways that humans can communicate. So that is where we focus our time and our energy. And then also making that accessible to all. So for far too long, historically, the ability to create video has been difficult, expensive, time consuming, and for many, not even possible. So we are very focused on breaking down these barriers so that anyone, regardless of their resources or their knowledge or the languages they speak, can create video that can be understood by a global audience. And specifically today, I'm excited to talk about two of our most popular products for businesses. The first being avatar video, and the second being video translation. And many businesses have strong use cases for both.
Mhm.
So you can think about which one you should use, when in terms of whether you're creating new videos, which would often be avatar video, or translating a video that already exists in one language and you want to transform it into another.
Yeah, what do you think is like, are there difference in case of the departments who are reaching out for, let's say, avatar or like video translation? So, for example, instant avatar is more, I don't know, let's say for HR or for sales, or and video translation is more for marketing. Is there anything you could let us know?
Yeah, that's a great point. I definitely agree with you. There are some unique use cases, and there are plenty that overlap as well. Um, like you mentioned, we see a lot of learning and development and HR teams using our avatar video solution, and that actually goes nicely into my next slide. Because we see HR and internal training teams wanting to create video content to help keep their compliance up to date. They want to make sure that all of their employees are able to get the training that they need. And a lot of times, like things like policies or laws even can change. And if you have a lot of video content already created and you just need to go back and change one sentence or one section, you can do that so easily in HeyGen without needing to re-record the entire video. So we see a lot of training teams using avatar video for that reason.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then we'll get into video translation a little bit more in just a second here, but I mean, there are tons of use cases for that too, as you can imagine. I mean, if you have a video that's in one language, imagine the impact that you could have on your business if you were able to make that video accessible to such a wider audience.
I have such a funny like comment here, just like, please make HeyGen work on horses. Just like, I mean, you could actually sit on a horse, and with our new emotion avatar, we could record you on a horse while you like. It should work. Let me play around with this idea, but it should work. So yeah, sorry, but some comments are just like hilarious here all the time. I just want to mention this.
That's incredible. Yeah, I would love to see that. I would also love to see us be able to make the horse itself an avatar.
The
That's my
horse.
personal goal.
Okay, animals, like, okay.
Yeah, how fun would that be? But maybe not as much of a business use case there. So we'll try to stay on top
True.
of it. But yeah, just a couple of other very common use cases for avatar video in businesses. Layering an avatar on top of a slide deck, a PowerPoint, to kind of bring it to life and make it more engaging. You can also jumpstart your video production engine, kind of essentially starting from nothing in order to market in new channels. And then finally, you could liven up your product help documentation and kind of bring that to life with video content instead of encouraging people just to read through a bunch of text.
Mhm.
So with that, let's take a look at how one of our customers, Roland Frazier, used HeyGen to generate 6 figures of revenue in just 48 hours. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can switch my tab and share sound. Just give me one sec.
Sure.
Here we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to hit play. Oops, it's muted.
And sold about 2,300,000 in multiple AI automation generated courses. The 4 tools that we use here: ChatGPT, 11 Labs, Zapier, and a tool called HeyGen. HeyGen is amazing, and it's just evolved to be our only real video avatar generator that we're using now, because it's just so much better than all of the other ones. So what you can see is we created multiple avatars for Ryan and me and other people. That's done based on recording 2 to 5 minutes of somebody just talking in any environment. Then we create a script from ChatGPT. The very first test we did in November at an event in the green room, right as that functionality came out, we had a $7 webinar we just put out an email for. We had like 1,000 people that signed up. We sold $158,000 in 24 or 48 hours, and I didn't do anything.
So pretty incredible results. And like I mentioned, there's so many different ways that you could use this technology.
Yeah, we are seeing more and more like use cases, like real use cases where people really get in touch with HeyGen itself and just like building a business with HeyGen actually, or change the existing workflow and include HeyGen in this process. So yeah, thanks for sharing us this video.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you said, it's totally both, right? There are people that were not creating any video before because they weren't able to. So now using HeyGen unlocks that for them. But there are also people and businesses and companies that were already creating video somehow, but probably in a more difficult or expensive or time-consuming way, and were able to help make that a lot easier for them.
Yeah. There are like one question here. Let me just answer this real quick. So, is there an effort being to make the voice cloning better? So, for sure, what you could do actually is, because normally we are training on the voice you are providing with your training video avatar. So normally this is sometimes not the best quality itself. And it is just like, it really depends. Sometimes it's just 30 seconds of recording when you're doing this in the live webcam. Sometimes it's just like 1 minute. What you could do actually is, because we have a great partnership with 11 Labs itself, what you can do is you could clone like your voice on 11 Labs, train this with even more specs. And then you can take the API key from 11 Labs, put it to HeyGen in this third party we will show you in a bit. And then you can use this voice, like the library of your 11 Labs voices, and put it in place with your avatar. And then you really have the best like experience in case of the voice for your avatar. So this is something you can do. Also, like, no, nobody needs like the API key for creating this kind of in-motion avatars. We will release this very soon. I think June is our like ETA now. Like I would say like the first week of June to publish this, and everyone can use now or then like the emotion avatar, and it will be a new product in the like instant avatar creation itself. So everyone can see this pretty obviously, and it's for sure for everyone. So yeah, sorry, Melissa, go ahead.
No, don't be sorry. Sounds like there's some great questions in the chat, so I appreciate you taking care of those. And yeah, just like you were saying, I thought it would be helpful to kind of put this all together and see what this actually looks like in HeyGen itself. So I'll go back to sharing my screen here and just kind of make sure we're connecting all the dots. So like you said, if users want to create an avatar of themselves, they would simply go to the video avatar section of the product. And once you click create instant avatar, we will walk you through the process. We'll give you instructions. We'll tell you, here's how you should be talking. Make sure you're looking directly into the camera. Make sure you're using some hand gestures, but not too many. So all of those kind of tips and tricks and best practices to make sure that you're getting the highest quality avatar. And then once you have that avatar, you can use it in our AI studio. And this is meant to be super familiar, easy to use, really like a drag and drop interface. So, it's as simple as dragging myself onto the screen. Let's see, I can remove the background because of the type of avatar that this is. And then I have assets preloaded already into HeyGen. So if I want a branded background, it's super easy to start to see how this all comes together. And I'm starting to put together the pieces of a video and including the script, which will be the words that the avatar actually speaks at the very end.
Okay, so if maybe you can show us, like, because someone is like asking for the pronouncing itself for, so how actually this will work. So if we mark or label like a word, is there any way we can, yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, the question would be like, okay, which kind of word you focus on? Then you can mark or label this word itself. You can go to pronouncing and then how it looks like exactly. So what you actually can do is you can type in how you think like it should be pronounced, and then you can always have a pre-listening, and then you can make sure that every word is pronounced in the right way. One thing I want to mention is it will be for every language a different pronouncing. So you really have to think about this. We will always help you or our support team, so you can reach out to us. But make sure you really understand like the input language, and then because it will be always sounds a bit different, because Melissa is now like it is her voice, but if you also go to the voice section here, you can also use our like voices itself, so like our library voices, and you could also select like which kind of country you're looking for. So you don't have to stay in English. You can also go to Spain, for example. And if we go to Spain itself, you will always see that we have a multiple of languages itself. With different like accents as well. So it's not just like Spain Spanish, it's Mexican, it's Chile, it's Peru, Argentina. It's not Brazil. I learned this. Yes, I know it's Portuguese, so don't judge me again. But yeah, so I think this is also pretty cool. And one thing everyone was mentioned, or one was mentioned here as well, is like, what about these emotions for the public voices? What is this, Melissa?
Yeah, great question. Oops.
Or even for your voice, we can see it already. Yeah.
Yep. Let me go back to the screen just to make it easy. Yeah. So for these voices, if you see this emoji next to it, that means it's one of our early release voices where you can control the emotion. So in this case, the default here would be excited. But if I click on this emoji, I can see the other options: excited, friendly, serious, soothing, and broadcaster. So we surveyed our users and basically asked what are the different types of emotions that you would want to see. And, there wasn't a ton of demand for really sad or really angry avatars. So these are the ones that we heard most commonly would be most useful. So now you can use this as a way to control how your avatar sounds.
Exactly. And maybe you can just go to integrate third-party voice on the top right corner. Exactly. Because this is the section, everyone, where you can put your API key from 11 Labs, and then you have access to the voice library from your 11 Labs account. One question here is, maybe you can just show us this, is what kind of avatar are you using to remove the background? Because is this like doable for the instant avatar as well, or what do we have to do?
Yeah, great question. So the ability to remove the background, so I'm kind of floating on the background here, would be specific to fine-tune avatars and studio avatars. So your instant avatar will be more like this. And when I'm using one of these that has the background, I typically like to do it in circle view, so I can just kind of put myself in the corner there. But for fine-tune and studio avatars, those are the ones that allow you to remove the background.
Exactly. And
And
then
you could also, sorry to interrupt you, you could also use one of our pre-existing avatars as well if you either didn't want to use one of yourself or preferred something else. If I wanted to use one of these with no background, could also do that.
yeah, exactly. I think for everyone right now, like we have like the instant avatars and we have the studio avatars. So instant avatar is really like a casual way of, like, I would say, clone yourself to an avatar real quick with a live webcam, with like a smartphone camera, with a background that is actually set down. A studio avatar is really like a high professional avatar, and you have to shoot this in a green screening recording, a very professional. You have to follow our guidelines to get the best results. It is really like a kind of more professional avatars we are providing, because also for sure the quality will be a different one and is actually the highest in the industry right now, but it's also just available for enterprise clients. I think I can say this here. One more thing before you going, or you go back to your presentation itself, is if you could go to the left bottom, there is like this, I would say, labs section. And in this lab section, there is the Canva app. I also prefer everyone, like, hey, if you already know how Canva works and you are more familiar with the Canva workflow and with the system itself, yes, you could download the HeyGen app in Canva. You could download it, you could log in with your normal HeyGen account, and then you can use your avatars in Canva directly. So you don't have to use our studio itself. For sure, I think we are getting better and better, and also this is the feedback we need from you guys to make it even more better and improve the studio itself. But yes, you can use Canva to create avatar videos for sure. Okay, Melissa, go back. I'm sorry.
No, those are awesome questions. I appreciate everyone asking. Looks like we are right on track in terms of time. So we will shift gears a little bit here from talking about avatar video to talking about video translation.
Yes.
And so a lot of different reasons, like you can probably use your imagination and think, why would someone want to translate their existing video content? But maybe you want to reach new audiences in their own local language. Maybe you want to make your internal training content easier to understand for your global workforce. Maybe you want to better connect with your clients or your customers that speak other languages, or even just kind of positioning your business as a global brand, even if you may be a small team to start. And one of my favorite customers, HubSpot, actually uses HeyGen video translation with some absolutely incredible results. So they've not only saved a ton of time and money, which is obviously very important, but their CMO, Kip Bodner, also highlighted the impact that being able to publish more content faster has had on their marketing engine. So with that, we can hop back over into the product and give you
Sure.
a quick look at what that looks like in action. So here we were. We'll go back to home, and we'll go down to video translation section of the app. And then you can see it's super simple to either upload a video through YouTube or Google Drive, or just directly from your computer, and I'll hit create new translation. And then from there, you can either directly translate the video. So if I click that, I'll see the different options for output languages, or I could generate a proofread. And generating a proofread will allow you to preview and edit the translation before finalizing the video. So things like brand terms, controlling pronunciation, making sure phrases that are common in one language translate correctly into another. Really just making sure that everything is polished and fine-tuned. The proofread will allow you to do that.
Yes, for sure. Proofread is an enterprise feature. So you can test this video translation tool at HeyGen all the time, but it will be just like the normal translation part. So you can just, for example, you have a real video. It doesn't have to be like an avatar video or anything. You can upload this kind of video. For example, correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa, but our like customers, they're reaching out to HeyGen and say, look, we have a big library of videos. This kind of videos we have is training videos, it's informational videos, it is maybe product updates videos, it's masterclass videos, it is like a new product release for our B2B resellers.
Yep.
And our issue is we have to record it all the time from the beginning. So for example, like a high professional video costs around $10,000 and it's just like a 2-minute video duration. So this is, let's say this is input English, and now I have to do it again in Spanish and in Italian, in French, and whatever kind of language it is, will be always the same cost because you have to find a new actor, you have to find a new translation agency, you have to make sure everything is on point for each language. And now companies reaching out and say, why? What do you mean? I can just use HeyGen video translation and I can just like upload my video and just select the new language, and the speaker in the video will just change like the lip synchronization and the language itself. And we said, yes. So this is how it works. So we have so many like clients in case of, let's say they have e-learning platforms. They love our tool. They're heavily users because it's so easy now to create these videos in different languages to reach out to new audiences or provide a better user experience for other countries to present this video in their language actually. So do you have any other like example who's reaching out and who's using the video translation tool?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, like you said, there are so many different use cases and types of companies that want to use video translation. We are seeing a lot of educational institutions come to us for this product because they, especially during COVID, during the pandemic, a lot of universities, colleges, even lower educational institutions took a lot of their teaching online. So they have these libraries of so much video content of lessons that they've recorded. And they want to be able to provide those to a broader audience in different languages. So we see a lot of demand there, but also HubSpot, using us for their marketing team, a lot of opportunity really just across the board.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so I stopped you. So show us what kind of languages actually we are providing.
Yeah. So if we click on tips here, we'll give some general guidelines. This is an extremely powerful, innovative solution, but it is still early days, relatively speaking. So in terms of the type of content that it is best for video translation is generally, single user talking to the camera. Educational videos are a great example of the format that often works really well, as opposed to, for example, an action scene where 5 people are moving around and screaming at each other. That would be a little bit more complicated and a little bit more difficult for us to translate. But in terms of the languages, you can see the scroll bar here is teeny tiny because it is a very long list. And we have different dialects, different locales, because we know different versions of the same language are spoken in different places. So very, very long list, but we are always adding to it as well. So that's another thing we're always open to feedback on is if you don't see the language that you're looking for here, let us know.
Yeah, I think Creole is one of the most requested language itself. We are not supporting Creole or Creola, and also it's not just like about adding the new languages. It's also like improve it. So this is also why we have always everywhere a feedback button that you could let us know, hey, I choose, I don't know, Spanish for Mexico with Mexican accent, and it doesn't really work perfect. Could you please improve this? And then we will do this for sure. So, but we need your feedback to help you to get a better product. And yeah, so I just wanted to point this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, the more specific the feedback, the better. Just a little plug there. Just hearing, hey, this accent is wrong is not as helpful as it's wrong, and here's why, and here's what it should sound like, and this word should have been this word. The more specific, the more useful. So we can put that into action as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I had one question here, and you could let us know what is actually it is like. What is knowledge base itself? Because the question, what I'm reading here, is like, hey, for medical stuff, it is really like hard in case of the right terms of words and all this stuff. So I think knowledge base is something you should have a look through. So maybe you can, yeah, let us know, Melissa. What is it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like scientific terms, medical terms, great use case for knowledge base, as well as the proofread feature, just to make sure that everything comes out correctly. But what knowledge base will do is it will allow you to essentially give that context to the AI before it does the translation. So you can say, this is a video about a certain thing, a certain topic. And so, with that context, the AI will be able to do a much better job at translating correctly, as opposed to essentially needing to guess the broader context of the video. And so, in this Help Center article here, we go into much more detail about how that can specifically be used. But other examples would be things like certain words or names that shouldn't be translated. So if you work for Apple and you want to translate a video, you don't want it to turn Apple into manzana. You want to keep it Apple. So this would be a way to, before doing the translation, kind of confirm those things up front so you get the best result possible with the translation.
Right. So you say, so is it like just, so I can do it very specific for each video, right?
What do you mean?
Like the knowledge base. So I can really have a look through my input video, understand this, and then guide the AI with a better context to help me to get a better like result done for the proofreading, right?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Cool. Okay. Anything you want to mention to the brand vocabulary?
Brand vocabulary is somewhat similar. This is where you can also say like, okay, here are our brand terms. You should look out for these, just to make sure that just to improve the translation quality by giving it context up front.
Perfect. Cool. This is very good. And as well here, feedback. Test it out, give us feedback. I mean, Melissa is in charge with all like the clients itself, so she has a very good overview what's going on. But still, if you have directly feedback, just let us know. Maybe we can dive in how actually a proofread looks like.
Yep, absolutely. Great. Here we go. Here's an example of what a proofread looks like, and I'll point out a couple things here. On the left-hand side, or I guess it's kind of the middle column, we have just the transcription of the video in the original language. So that's essentially the first thing that's happening behind the scenes, is we're doing audio to text for the original audio in the video. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the translation. So in this case, I chose Italian for this video of Bill Gates going from English to Italian. So I can make edits on either side of this if, for whatever reason, the transcription wasn't perfect and I need to make a change to a word and say, hey, you actually misheard that. It wasn't hurting, it was hurting. It was a different type of that word. We can make that edit here and then redo the translation, or you can make the edits on the translated output. So whichever one needs to happen or needs to be done to make sure that this video makes perfect sense. But if you don't speak Italian, like I do not speak Italian in this case, and I wanted to give this to someone else and say, hey, Italian speaking friend, can you look over this for me and make sure it makes sense? I could download this proofread. And so that would give me the time-stamped before and after. So I could share that with someone, get their feedback, get their edits, and then re-upload that before rendering the final version.
Exactly. So this is one option you have. The other option for sure is, especially on enterprise, is you could also invite like your Italian speaking friend to the tool itself, because there is one advantage if you're doing this directly in our interface, and this is the pre-listening. So every time you see the play button next to the script itself, so you can have a pre-listening actually how this will be pronounced. And we also have this feature here. So if you mark or label any word for the like target language, you could also make sure that this will be pronounced in the right term and in the right way. So yeah, actually there are two options how you can work with your team together here at HeyGen.
Yeah, great call. Yeah, if it makes sense to have whoever you're working with also in HeyGen with you, that's obviously great. But sometimes our enterprise customers actually still have a translation agency that they employ that they want to share this with rather than bring those folks in. But you're absolutely right that both options are available.
Yeah. So guide us through, like, because we are always here for improvement itself. Because I see one comment here, and it is true, and we are working on this. So what do you think about this speeding up, slowing down? So this is, I would say, one of the biggest challenges we are facing, because for sure, like in this kind of languages, you have this like amount of words, and then you translate to French, Hebrew, whatever kind of language, and then this is much more longer itself. So yeah, it is definitely an improvement we have to make, but we are already facing this. So we are working on this to make this happen for everybody. And this is also about feedback. So we love your feedback. It helped us to improve the technology itself. One is asking about the face and voice on the left side. So what does it mean?
Yeah, great question. And great call out on the speed side of things. Definitely something we're working on, but it's, I'm told, a very complicated engineering problem. Yes, face and voice. So in this video, this will basically give you the option to, if for whatever reason the AI is misattributing a face to a voice. So essentially we are saying that this person is speaking when it should actually be this person speaking, you can override that. This is, I mean, frankly, it's accurate most of the time. I've had very little need to use this feature myself or with my customers, but it is obviously good to have the option available because you don't want the wrong person's mouth moving and saying the wrong words or saying the right words with the wrong person, the wrong voice. Don't want to have that happen. So we just want to give you the ability to.
I saw a great question actually. Is this tool working if you have three person in the same scene, like in a podcast or interview? And yeah, so the thing here is, yes, we are working on this. It is like, for sure, the AI itself can detect multiple languages or speaker. This is not the issue here. But with this like the big challenge we are facing here is in an interview that some people are interrupting some other people in the same sentence, and then it's pretty hard for the AI to detect who is speaking right now. But for sure, also we are working on this. But this phase is really if you have a conversation scene by scene and you want to make sure the right person is speaking right now, you have this face and voice option here to make it even in the best way. And you also have this preview bar on the top where you can just like, yeah, play around with and see exactly where you're at. So then let's say we have everything proved. Okay. And now we want to translate the video itself. What is, because I see the question here is also like, do we take the same input resolution like as the output resolution? What could you say us and tell us about this?
Yeah. Yep. Whatever resolution comes in is the resolution that will come out. So it should be no change there.
Exactly, and even for the bit rate. So for some of you, it will be very necessary to have this kind of feature. Yes, it will not just be for the resolution itself. So for example, 4K, it will be also for the bit rate. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So if we now press on this translate button, so what do we see now? So what do we have for options here?
So from here, the first thing we'll see is based on how long this video is, it's just over 2 minutes. It's going to take 2.5 credits to translate this video. And then the options I have are to keep the proofread after I submit it. So if I want to, without replacing the proofread, keep that intact. If I want to go back and make any other edits, you can include captions in the translated language, or you could translate only the audio if you didn't want to worry about lip sync. I would say the lip syncing technology is part of what makes HeyGen so magical. So it's like most of our customers come to us because we can do that. But we actually do have some customers that use this. One of our customers, iFit, does workout videos, and so there's a lot of movement and a lot of different people in their scenes. And sometimes if it doesn't come out perfectly, they will opt to translate only the audio, just because there's so much going on in their videos.
Yeah, and I mean it's totally fine. I mean, if you're like a big company, you don't like have all the time like a speaker in the video. It is sometimes for sure it's a voiceover, but you don't have to use any other tool. You can just come to HeyGen and do both of them. So it's more like an add-on on our end. And just say, hey, if you just have a voiceover or you have some scenes or you want to play around with, hey, just use it, no problem here. Everything will be fine. We are supporting you. Okay, sorry for stopping.
No, not at all. That's perfect. Any other questions on anything we've covered so far?
So I think for the video translation itself, it's a huge step for the technology around like the word, because it makes it so easy to translate your input video to different languages in just like by clicking some of the buttons itself. And one thing I really want to mention, like the knowledge base itself. So what was our idea behind this? So for example, you take an input video, let's say 10 minutes, okay? And it is in English. You want to translate this to Spanish. So even if you're in charge with Spanish, you have to do the proofreading, okay? So let's say you're spending 1 hour on the proofreading. Right now you're spending like 1-2 weeks because you have to put this like to a translation agency because you're not like in charge with the language, for example, and then you have to wait. You have to wait and you have to wait and you have to wait. Okay, now here with this proofreading itself and also with this knowledge base, and this is my point now, you can reduce this like working you're spending for the proofreading if you put a very good context to your like knowledge base file, and you will see that it will reduce your time you're spending on HeyGen itself for the proofreading. It will goes down. And this is really, you have to test it out, try it out, and you will see for sure. Sometimes it's back and forth, but after you made it and you have a better understanding and you read like the instructions how to use it, you will be fine, and you will see like, hey, I'm just spending like 30 minutes now for the proofreading. Perfect. Click the button, up to the next one. So yeah, I just want to point this out again.
Yeah, great call. And you're absolutely right that all of those features kind of work together. It's like you have your brand vocabulary and knowledge base to give some of that context up front to improve the translations, but then you still have the option to proofread to make sure that everything comes out perfectly.
Yes, one tip I also have, because for the video translation itself, yes, if you already have an existing video, for sure, it will work. It will also work with, let's say, like a background music itself, when there is no like any voices itself, and just like the melody itself. Yes, it will work for sure to get an even better result. Please make sure you separate like the A and B roll itself. So this means maybe you have the raw material itself from your footage that you already shoot. You can just put this in HeyGen. We can do the translation, and then you can do the editing and post-production. This will also help you to get a better result and a better user experience at HeyGen. So it's just like lots of tips and tricks, but this is also why Melissa is in charge with all of our like clients. She has these tips and tricks as well, and she will listen to you, and then she will also help you to improve your workflow with HeyGen, because for sure there is no chance you can have the best knowledge right away. We're still doing this and try to even create a better video material for everyone, really like more how-to videos. But Melissa is still here and is really supporting our HeyGen clients in the best way possible with her knowledge. So yeah, is there anything, Melissa, you want to point out today again about business itself, how to get started, or anything you want to tell us and let us know about avatar video translation, or our lab section in the top left button where we have streaming avatar personal videos? Is there anything you want to mention to everyone?
Well, I've had the floor for a while here, so I've had a chance to say a lot of what I wanted to say and wanted to share with our audience today, and anyone watching the recording. So hopefully today you've gotten a better understanding of how you can use HeyGen both in video avatar and video translation to accelerate your business. And we're always excited to hear from customers, not only their feedback, but also just learning more about how are you using it. You know, we talked about some of the most common, some of the most like easy to get started use cases for today, but there are so many creative ways that you can use HeyGen. And I think one of the things that excites me the most about this business and about working with our incredible customers is just how creative you all are, and all of the amazing ideas that you all have. So come in.
And I want to mention one thing, Melissa. HeyGen is hiring. So maybe somewhere's out there. So maybe we can share a link where you can see our actually job offers at HeyGen. And we are growing so fast, and we need for sure builders who want to change something here. And I think if we can share our link for our jobs, where we are hiring, would be love that, and you could join Melissa and me and the team itself at HeyGen, because we are on a mission and we will make it happen. But for sure, we always need great support from colleagues and new employees. So this would be, lovely to see you here. One thing to end this webinar, Melissa, could you go to heygen.com and just explain where people could have access to enterprise or could reach out to us? What is the workflow here? I know you should not be prepared, but I saw this question, how we can reach out to the sales team, how we can reach out to you, and just maybe you can just give us the workflow here. So when you go to heygen.com itself, oh no, you're on pricing, but yeah, maybe you can guide us through, please.
Yeah, the problem is if you're logged in and you try to go to heygen.com, it redirects you to the app, which is totally fine. It just means it's a little harder to get to our website. So you could go directly to heygen.com/pricing, and you'll see a few options to contact sales there that will get you directly in touch with our sales team. Or if you are in the app, and you click on any of the pricing options here, you can contact sales or purchase a plan directly from our website.
Exactly. And then you will contact sales, you will get a message back. Melissa, is it still with Joshua, our CEO, like the PV personal video directly message?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a great feature, personalized videos. We really have to talk with Wayne, our CPO and co-founder, about this feature in the next 3 weeks. I think it would be, because personal video is such a great tool for a lot of use cases, actually. Okay, I would say we will share the link now for the 5 free credits. I think we are coming to an end. The next week topic for the webinar would be URL to ads. Lot of requests I saw today, even if this is a business webinar today. Lot of questions actually. But we could really like show you the latest updates, because now it is also available actually that you can use your own avatar with URL to ads. And I want to show this to everyone. So this would be the next topic. And then personalized videos, I really have it on my to-do list here now. So Melissa, thank you so much for joining me today in this webinar. It was very, very helpful for a lot of questions the community had. And it's a great start with these 5 credits now to go to HeyGen, create your first free account, and then play around with these 5 free credits. And I really want to make sure everyone, please create a free account before and then send us the email, because it will not work if you don't have an account. So you will not get the 5 free credits. I just want to mention this. Melissa, I would say the last words is yours today, and then I will end this webinar.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining today. Thank you, Nick, for being such an incredible host and inviting me to join. But yeah, just really excited to support all of you on HeyGen and see what sort of amazing things that you create, and excited to see how you're all able to accelerate your businesses using video.
Have a great day or great night, and see you next Thursday. Bye.
See you next time.